Hello everyone, it's Jennifer. Today is Wednesday, October 13th. Yes, the 13th, 2010. Um, Excuse me for looking like crap today. I'm gonna take these off because I could see the stupid glare from the computer again. Anyway, apologize for the look and the pajamas and sounding like crap. I'm really too tired today to give a crap about how I look. Um, and my sinus medication is finally kicking in, so I'm draining a lot, which is kind of too much information probably, but that's probably, I'm having difficulty swallowing because of all the draining, so if I sound like crap, I apologize. And at any rate, the reason for me doing this video today is because yesterday when I did the video, after I got back from the food therapist, I had told you about the book that I had to read before my orientation at the first hospital. For those of you just chiming in here, or tuning in here, I'm sorry, I am going to two different orientations at two different hospitals so that I can determine which hospital and which surgeons and which medical team would be better for me. Both my orientations are very close together. The first one that is at the hospital that I'm actually leaning more towards is on November 2nd, which is 20 days away, and the other is Wednesday, November 3rd, which is 21 days away, exactly 3 weeks. The first hospital is actually where I would like to have the surgery. It's kind of where I'm leaning. They're the ones who require me to read the book, and that orientation is about 8 hours long. So at any rate, here's the book again, just in case you'd like to read it, or I don't know if you could see the author, Barbara Thompson. She actually had weight loss surgery, so she writes the book from the perspective of somebody who has had it, and here's her before and after picture in the back. But at any rate, you have to. This is required reading, and so I started reading it. And I'm on page 70 now, so I still have about 210 pages left to go, but I should be able to finish it before our vacation, which is why, even though I have 20 days before the orientation, we're going on a little trip, and I know I'm not going to read the entire time we're on the trip, so I'm trying to read it all before we go. But as helpful as this book is, the purpose of the book is to teach you about everything you need to know about weight loss surgery and to answer any questions that you may have before you actually speak to your doctor, and to kind of learn what to expect, I guess. And last night I had a question, and I thought, well, I'll just read the book and the book will explain it. But the book, I'm kind of disappointed, does not cover at all the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, which is what I wanted to have. And that both concerns me and disappoints me. It disappoints me because obviously I wanted to get information about it and I wanted to learn more about it. But it disappoints me and concerns me because that means it's so relatively new that she didn't even have it to put in this book. And I think this book, I probably should have figured this out before I came on here, is copyrighted 2003. So it's only 7 years old. And to me, if it doesn't have the surgery in here, that means the surgery is less than 7 years old, which I knew it was a relatively new procedure. But I'm always bitching about medical procedures that are relatively new and medications, and how do they know if it's going to work, and how do they know that in 20 years it's not going to be causing more problems than it helps. So I was disappointed that I couldn't read about the vertical bypass. The vertical sleeve gastrectomy. And the other question that I had that was not covered by the book about actual surgical procedure was, during the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, I know that they remove a large portion of your stomach, and if you have it done laparoscopically, almost couldn't say that word, I'm wondering how they get the rest of your stomach out. Probably a stupid question. I'm assuming they can't get the rest of your stomach out if you do it laparoscopically. I'm assuming they might have to do it open, or maybe I just don't know enough about surgery to answer that question really. So I wanted to come on here and I wanted to ask you guys how you decided what surgery to have. Was it a decision that you made on your own? and then went and told your doctor, I'd like to have, A, B, or C? Or was it a recommendation from your primary care physician, or was it a recommendation from the actual bariatric surgeon? Now that I have no information other than what is visible on the hospital's website about the vertical sleeve, excuse me, now I'm starting to consider gastric bypass, and I didn't want to have the gastric bypass because of all the rerouting and um, the dumping syndrome, but I'm not quite sure what to have now. And I was hoping that maybe somebody out there could give me a little bit more information, or at least tell me how you made the decision, or if you've had the vertical sleeve, why it is that you chose that over the gastric bypass. Ultimately, the book asks you that the way that you have to decide what surgery you want to have is that you have to consider, like, do you eat a lot of sweets, or do you eat a lot of healthy food just in large amounts? Do you Jesus, I just read it and I can't even remember. I have the worst memory ever. You're getting a preview of all my cats in the background. Apparently they have little stars and they want to be on camera. But at any rate, my problem primarily is that I don't eat a lot of food. I just eat a lot of bad food. And I'm assuming that if I have the gastric bypass, I'm going to have dumping syndrome a lot because I don't know what to eat. On the other hand, if I have the vertical sleeve, and I can still eat sweets, I mean, am I still going to lose enough weight that it matters? I mean, it's not even that I want to be thin, really. I just want to be healthy. The thin part is an advantage, it's a plus, it's a bonus, but it's not my primary goal. And I don't want to go through all the risks involved and all the difficult decisions that have to be made and all the difficult changes that have to be made if I'm just going to lose like 30 or 40% of my excess body weight. If that's all I'm going to lose, what's the point? So, I guess 30 or 40% would help my health problems a lot, but I don't think that really necessarily would ward them off for good. And according to this book, weight loss surgery is so good now that the chances of you regaining the weight are very slim if you actually do it the correct way, no pun intended. And I think that's what we're all looking for, is a permanent answer to our weight loss. So I'm very confused right now. I'm going to keep reading the book, and hopefully with the orientation and the book together, I'll have a little clearer understanding. And again, I'm open to hearing what you have to say because you guys have been through it or are going through it, or maybe you have different information than what I have. So any information that you could provide would be very appreciated. The other thing is, at the orientation that I'm going to on the 2nd, which is the 8-hour one, they really want you to bring like a spouse or a support person, basically, which should be a family member or spouse, somebody that you have close contact with all the time. Obvious choice would be Noah. Second obvious choice would be my mom or my sister. But my mom works 2 jobs, and my sister works really crazy hours, even though she would technically be off on Tuesday. She has a little girl, and she's got to take care of her. She really can't take 8 hours out of her day to sit at a stupid seminar with me. And Noah probably is working, and I would really like him to go with me. I would really, really, really like him to go with me because he's the one that has the most doubts about surgery. He's the one that's always saying it's a cop-out, it's the easy way out. He's changed his tune a little bit since I had like this emotional breakdown a couple weeks ago about how dangerous my health was and how I wanted to change, and couldn't do it by myself. I didn't know what was wrong with me. Excuse me, this is that cough. I have that all the time now, which I guess is good so I don't get pneumonia, but I cough like I'm dying. At any rate, I really want him to go with me because I think it would be very, very informative to him so that he can learn, because I think he has a lot of misconceptions about what the surgery is. And I think if he went with me, he would understand a lot better, and he would have the same information that I would have, and we would be on the same page. We might not necessarily agree, but we would be on the same page, and that's really, really what I'm hoping. Um, but I don't know if I can convince him to go, especially for 8 hours, especially when it's already something he doesn't agree with. Um, he has changed, like I said, a little bit to where he'll say, oh, if it's necessary, I guess you can have it, or I guess you should have it, and if it's going to get you to where you need to be. But I know the man. I've known him for 15 years, and he's not on board with this. I know he's not. And I really, like I said yesterday, feel very alone, and I would like him to be on board with me. And I support everything that he wants to do with his life, even though I may not quite understand it all the time. But I completely support him, so I would like him to do the same with me. At any rate, I will work on that and hopefully let you know the next video. I really don't think I'll be posting again unless I have questions about the book again. Like I said, I have about 210 pages left to go, or 170, something like that. And if I have more questions, I'll come on here. And like I said, please comment and please let me know how you decided on the surgery. Um, and besides that, I am finally going to eat dinner at 9:15 at night. So I will talk to you all later. Have a good night.